I had a father of a friend who was a doctor. We had this discussion. He says, well, you know, I'm saving lives. What are astronomers doing? And I told him, we're saving brains, you know, because what we are doing is using our brain to think about the universe and how it began and what's going to happen to it. And that's an intellectual exercise that affects us in the way we see the world and how we operate our lives.
The next generation are our future. So I think mentoring the upcoming generation is important, you know, so they understand what the challenges are and they're better prepared to face them.
People who build instrumentation for telescopes might find career paths in other big technology development areas. A lot of people have software skills that make them useful to, of course, software companies, but even in the financial sector.
You can go into teaching K through 12. You could go work for Pixar in programming for their movies. You could do science journalism for, you know, one of multiple different magazines. You could go on into science policy in DC. You could go into manufacturing and engineering. On and on and on.
If it gets that kid, you know, who normally would just study baseball stats or looking in more mathematical and scientific directions, and maybe they don't become an astronomer, maybe they become an engineer, maybe they set up the next Apple company or something like that. But if they're originally excited about science through astronomy, or that's all good.
We're going to infiltrate the country with young people teaching younger people, teaching their families that astronomy is cool and that science is interesting and that we need to have more of it. And we're hoping that our younger people, who represent a much more diverse group than our older people in the AAS, will therefore help be role models to increase the diversity in that way.
Diversity is a very topic very close to my heart. As a gay man, I'm very interested in expanding the picture of who is in astronomy, and more specifically, who can be a scientist or an engineer. When I joined the society some almost 20 years ago by now, it was the idea you had to be, you know, the straight white male who had to be in there. And a lot of who I thought I would be could not do that. That was not me. And so we have just recently started our working group for LGBT equality within the AAS.
You want to get the best brains, the best talent for whatever you're looking for. That's why I think diversity is really important in our field. We need to start looking at the smaller colleges, historically Black colleges, historically Hispanic colleges, and we need to be supportive of people who have different lifestyles. And then we get the best talent, and that's what we really want.
Our work has been to try to encourage women to stay in astronomy, break down some of the barriers that prevent women from succeeding. There's the family issue. There's also just a lack of role models at the highest levels.
When you go to a AAS meeting and you look around the room, what you see is a rainbow of colors. You see a lot of young men, a lot of young women. It's very exciting to see that change happen in my lifetime.